and happy Friday. It's week 3. We're talking about common misconceptions that people have about our relationship with a transgendered person. And we're also talking about either some funny or interesting questions that we've been asked by other people who may not know a lot about being trans and being in a relationship with a trans person. So the first common misconception that I'm sure everyone else has encountered as well, but as soon as someone finds out that I'm dating a trans person, they're like, oh, so you're gay. So basically, you're dating a girl and you're a lesbian. And no, that's not the case. My boyfriend is a guy, he's a guy, I'm a girl, and that's it. And yeah, sometimes I get a little bit defensive about the question because I don't really identify as straight or gay, so I'm kind of like, trisexual, try anything once. And but no, I'm not a lesbian. My boyfriend is not a girl, he's a guy. Just because he's trans doesn't mean that he's not a guy, he's a guy. I'm a girl. We're not lesbians. Second common misconception that I've encountered a lot is, oh, now you know that I'm dating a trans person, so it's okay to ask to see my boyfriend's genitals. And no, that is not okay. I would never ask you that, so it's not okay to ask me that. And, brings up a lot of questions like, how do you have sex? And, they want to see his chest and they want to see his penis, and I'm sorry, yeah, maybe it's not attached to him all the time, but it's still something you don't need to see. Only I get to see it. So that's definitely a question that comes up a lot. It's not okay to ask to see his private parts because they're private. The last common misconception that I've encountered a lot is that people think that since we're in a transgender relationship that we can't do the normal things that normal couples do. And I feel that any rule or law or obstacle has a way around it. And we, as a regular couple, are entitled to the same things that other couples are entitled to. I really do want to marry him someday and have a family with him. A lot of people think, oh, that's cute, you're dating someone who's trans, but then what? What are you going to do when you want a family? But basically, it will be legal for us to get married soon because he has the paperwork to prove that he is a man, and he can go get his gender changed so that we can get married in the state of Missouri. And when it comes to kids, I always really wanted to adopt kids. I didn't want to have my own kids, even from the beginning. I don't know that he really wants kids, but who knows? It could change. But I really do want to move in with him and marry him and have a family with him, and I do believe that that is still possible, even though he's trans. It doesn't hold us back from doing the normal things that other families do. So, and just as a disclaimer, just like Elizabeth said, I think I am open to any and all questions. I don't want to call anybody out for asking any rude or offensive or dumb questions, because there are no dumb questions. It really is a matter of knowledge. People are afraid of things because they don't understand it, and so I want to foster that knowledge, and anybody can ask any question that they want. It's just, can't get mad at me if I don't want to answer the question. But really, there are no questions that are out of the ordinary. It's fine. Those are just some common misconceptions that I have encountered in this whole transition process. But the next topic, on to, maybe some funny or interesting questions or stories that we've encountered. There is sort of a funny question that a friend of mine actually brought up recently. In the beginning, when Jake and I first started dating, we were talking about it, and she knew that he was trans, and then we were just talking about the topic of sex or something, and I was telling her that I wasn't taking birth control anymore, and she's like, oh my god, what are you doing? You have to be safe, you have to be careful, you need to be taking birth control, what are you thinking? And I'm like, hello, we don't need it. But so it's just kind of a funny thing, which is cool because she just sees him as another guy. It wasn't like she forgot for a minute that he was trans, and that we don't really need to use the necessary precautions because we're not going to be making babies, although we'll try as much as we want. But that was kind of funny. And then also recently we ran into a funny situation where we were all out at dinner, like I said before, when Jake and I first started dating, we were working at a music school together. So myself and Jake and a bunch of other people that had worked at the school were all eating dinner. And this one guy was in town who knew all of us when we were younger, and we were all just sitting around kind of reminiscing about the school and people that we knew there. And all of a sudden he brings up Jake's birth name, and he's like, "Hey, do you guys remember this person from rec school?" And we're all just kind of like, "Oh, no, who's that? What are you talking about?" And then we changed the subject. And it was just really funny, but also really cool that, he's sitting there, they're sitting there at the table together, and this guy didn't even realize that it was the same person that he knew as a kid. So I think that made Jake feel really good too. Like, he's passing so well that you wouldn't even know it's the same person. So that was kind of funny and interesting. But, so yeah, like I said, I don't mean to call anybody out in this video with any dumb questions. There are no dumb questions. And please continue asking them. But those are just some funny situations that we've encountered. And next week, maybe we won't be on such a funny subject, more of a serious subject. But that's okay. And I hope to see you all later. Okay, bye.